Good. Now, capture the flag in a cybersecurity context. Just like you've seen on the screen, is an exercise in which participants attempt to find flags. According to what you can see, they said attempt to find text string. Sometimes it might not necessarily be text string. It could be anything, but that thing is being called flag. It's secretly hidden in purposely vulnerable programs or websites. Now, let me break it down in such a way that you're going to understand. Now, the way we have www.facebook.com, ordinarily, it is not like you can't do vulnerability. It's not as if there's like a vulnerability, a big, or there may be a 0-day vulnerability, but it's not as if there's like a known vulnerability, like a worldwide known vulnerability. But now imagine the way we have www.facebook.com, there's www.boniface.com. Now that website, there's a vulnerability there. So what you're going to do in real life, that's to pen test websites. You know, if you are pen testing website without legal permission, it's actually wrong. It's wrong. You are liable to imprisonment. So in a bid to practice or to test your skills, like to showcase that, okay, you said that you can pen test a website. How can you showcase that you can actually pen test a website? Is by participating or performing the exercise called CTF, that's capture the flag, right? So websites are actually made to be vulnerable. Now, it's not only website. I don't know why they use websites here. It's not only website. It could be website, it could be machine, it could be systems. I say websites, machines, it could be systems, it could be anything. It could be a program. Yes, it could be a program. So the moment they will put like the vulnerability there. Now your task is to what? Is to look for it. Your task is to break into that system. Now, like I said, a system could be like a website, like a not a web page, a website, like a machine. When I mean a machine, just assume you have a computer, but the computer is not physical with you. The computer is like remotely located somewhere, but you have access to it. You can log into the computer, navigate through, and the likes of them. Do you get? So why do we do CTF? Why do we participate? Why do we partake in CTF? Now, CTF is actually very, very important because you solve like various security related challenges to find hidden flag. Now, according to what they are saying here, in two main types of CTS, participants either still, so we're going to leave this one alone, the different styles, forget about the different styles. Want to make it particular to cybersecurity alone. Now, there are many examples of CTF designed to teach cybersecurity skills to a wide variety of audiences, including what Pico CTF, which is one of the things we are going to open. We're going to open an account there. Now, you know, in your Cisco course, they must have taught you something about the different categories of cybersecurity. Different categories of cybersecurity. One is what? Cryptography. One is cryptography. Another one that we might have under cybersecurity, let me mention the one that's very, very popular, web security. Then we can have reverse engineering. Then we can have forensics, even binary exploitation, and the likes of them. Now, these areas are actually different aspects of cybersecurity in such a way that some people now, after choosing cybersecurity as their discipline, you still have the responsibility of choosing a particular domain in which you're going to specialize. Now, if you're there's this program, Cyber Girls. Now, if you are a partaker in Cyber Girls, you are actually made to choose a particular track. You know, the way Access Bank program now, vast majority of you choose a particular track like cybersecurity, data analysis, web development, or whatever it is, front end, back end, and likes of them. Now, people don't really understand. They think when you are in cybersecurity, that's all. No, cybersecurity is too broad a field. When you're in cybersecurity, there are still other branches whereby you need to like specialize. You need to like specialize yourself in, like increase your or improve your expertise in that area. So now that's why CTF is actually divided into various components. Those components actually form the components of what? Of cyber security. So during the course of this our 3 months program, we are going to treat cryptography, we treat web security in detail, we treat digital forensics also. Yeah. So now, how do we get started? How do we get started with CTF? If you want to participate in CTF, there are recognized competitions that actually take place. One of them is even organized on, I think, Cyber Talent. Then another one is organized. I'm just mentioning the one I know. You always have it. If you just check the CTF, whatever.com, you should be able to just take CTF on Google. You should be able to see different platforms for CTFs. Now, you can form a team. You can form a team. If you know somebody that is very good in digital forensics and you are good in web, okay, for now you're not good in it. It's assumed that you're not good in it. But you know someone that has interest in digital forensics, another person has interest in cryptography, another person has interest in this thing, web. You guys can form a team. You form a team, then you participate in competitions, not necessarily competitions all the time. You can attack, you can solve different challenges online. And when you solve, there are actually rankings. Those rankings, you can boast of those rankings in your CV. You can boast of those rankings in your on LinkedIn or whatever platform. People actually boast of those rankings. Yes. So you can actually form it. You can actually form a team. Then you learn from write-ups. Then lastly, you can just say participate. Just participate, and participate. Yeah. So um what are the benefits of participating in CTS? The one key benefit is you can use it to test your level. Take for example, now you think you've learned cybersecurity for 3 months. Now you want to really know if you can handle infrastructures of companies. Why not go check out some complex or some difficult challenges? Let's say in web, let's say you, you are good in web security. You go to any platform you want. We're not going to open accounts on Ask the Boss for now because Ask the Boss seems to be like a little bit advanced. So just open on Pico City something and teaching that's tracking. So what I'm saying is you can actually um, participate in CTF challenges. That's when you feel you are good. It's a way of assessing your skill. It's also a way of developing your skills, right? It's a way of assessing your skills and also developing your skills. Another very good benefit is networking. Yeah, by the time you participate in this, you get to meet people that are very good in the field of cybersecurity. Yeah. What will networking do for you? Now, if you are in cybersecurity and you are just in your closet, in your toilet, you're not networking, you're not meeting people, you don't know anything about what's going on out there. It's going to limit your opportunities. Yes, you may have the skills, you may know how to do ABC to Z, but then sometimes opportunities come from the person that you met somewhere, probably in a competition, in a program or something. Yeah. Another one is recognition. There's this friend of mine. Okay, the last work I did, we actually partnered. We actually partnered in doing the work. Now, how did I get to know him? I was going through LinkedIn and I noticed that there's this guy, he and his team, they are always like winning in major national CTF competitions. They are good to the point that they keep winning in major CTF competitions. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that this person is good. I mentioned one major hindrance at the very beginning. One major hindrance in this field of cybersecurity is that certification. Now, I don't know. I don't want to be too direct. I may be wrong, but I know that majority of us might not have the money to pay for um, certificates. Now, how can you tell a company that you are good if you don't have if your certificate cannot? Because sometimes certificates speak for you. I don't know if you understand. Certificate to actually speak for you. Say there is a job listing. Sometimes they'll just tell you if you have the certificate, you have the certificate, apply. If you don't have, don't bother. So you may know how to hack from A to Z, you know how to hack FBI and the likes of them. But then you can check the price range online. Um, you may not want to hack from A to Z, but there is no way, let me say Access Bank or UBA or DSS, there's no way they will know that okay, this particular person is actually very, very good. Now, what else will speak for you? Your this thing can speak for you. Do you understand? Now, what's another this thing? Although this one for me is yes, it's still important. Fun. Just the way people sometimes maybe people find it difficult to stay up late and read their books. Cybersecurity is different. Different in the sense that CTF can actually make you enjoy it. It's going to look as if you are playing game. Do you get? It's going to look as if you are playing game. You are playing game, but at the same time you are developing your skills. I don't even understand. So right about now, we are going to watch just a video. I think it's a cybersecurity CTF contest held in I've forgotten the country, but it's like an international one. Definitely. Okay, at the end of the video, it's a very short video. At the end of the video, you're going to see probably the prize given to them. But I didn't mention the fact that you actually tend to get money from participating in CTF competitions. All right.